Hello, I'm Normal Player Guy. Hey, guess what? We have a shoulda, woulda, coulda. Should you summon? Would you summon? Can you summon? Well, that depends on your stones, but really, no, you shouldn't. But anyway, let's jump straight into it. It's Android 17 and Hellfighter 17. So this is the Super 17 unit that's coming out. They have a banner unit, .view and .0. Great. We'll jump straight into it then, because this is Super 17 Celebration. I have just released a info. It looks pretty great for the entire campaign. So it looks pretty good. So there is a Super 17 transformation, but it's not standalone. So let's see what they do and let's see how they fare out, because this will be the last Dokkenfest campaign, Dokkenfest unit before we hit the 8th year. So join forces and target Goku are a full 170%, with the additional 30% for those who belong to the androids, which is really great. Okay, so let's have a look. 2 key and 100% to stats, plus an additional 1 key and 70% when all allies attacking in the turn are extreme class. Alright, fine. So essentially you could have 170% and 3 key. The fact that you get 3 key as well is actually huge, because that is the biggest thing going forward and for any unit really. And an extreme turn in the same turn, that's actually probably quite reasonable. So there'll be a huge difference when you do and don't have this. So, an additional 70% when performing a super attack. Super attack is 30% stats. You stack attack, 30% defense. So actually stack attack while have a little bit of defense. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. You launch an additional normal that has a 30% chance of becoming a super attack. So they have additional, it's only a 30%, but it's a guaranteed normal at least. You guarantee an additional super attack when there is a super class enemy for 4 turns, so for the start of turn. So the first 4 turns, you get it. That's the start of, right, okay, so you have to have him on the first rotation realistically, otherwise, or second rotation, otherwise you will lose it. If that's the start of the character's turn, then you've got it for a few. Otherwise, if they're in slot 3, and this is only for the first 4 turns of the match, you're stuffed. But you do raise your defense and you do stack attack, so I'd imagine then against a superclass enemy, you could be hitting fairly hard. So chance of critical hit and chance and dodge, 17% within the same turn with each attack performed. Okay, so you start off with 17% and you're guaranteed an additional normal, and that actually buffs with each attack, not just super attack. So after you've attacked, you'll have 34%, and if your hidden potential system comes in, even if it's just a normal, you'll have what, like 54%? It'll be ridiculous. 51%, sorry, you'll have 51% dodge, but that's got to be a hidden potential system. So 34 and then 51. So that's pretty decent, actually. So I don't know. Okay, so I'm trying to pick out things here. So like join forces would not be a runnable thing. We check out join forces. Yeah, no. I mean, possible you could get a few links out of them, but I doubt it. You could possibly run the other anniversary unit. That was the Int 17 and everybody else. They are indeed probably the best unit to go for it, I'd imagine. But it's hard to tell, maybe not, because they are, in fact, maybe not, because they are indeed GT based. So join forces, who could you run? We're looking for Android specifically. Yeah, legitimately, you might be able to make a good case for them. But again, GT links kind of take it out. Honestly, they would honestly become one of the best because they would have those links. You're not going to rock these on GT. You're just not. But yeah, okay. So let's see what else is there. The fact that you build up. It's okay, right? So it's hit and miss. So you do get that. You do get that, which is nice. If you don't have extreme class people in the turn, and it's got to be all allies, so at least half your team must be in extreme class, which again, you're probably okay. Target Goku, yeah. Androids, yeah. I mean, join forces, no. So you're going to have 3 key 170%. And as I say before, anyone with 3 key, or any amount of key, even just 1 at the start of the turn, drastically helps on the amount, because the keyboard sometimes can be ridiculously shafty. Okay. But again, this might be a little bit low. I must admit, I would prefer this to be at least 50%. I mean, it's nice that you get the additional attack because even though it's just an attack, your dodge crit goes up as well. So your chance of crit and your chance of dodge go up by 17%. Honestly, after you've attacked, that's automatically 34%, 51% otherwise. This is nice. This can be useful for a lot of reasons. You do stack the attack. So if you went into like the Fighting Legend events, you would be able to stack quite a lot and be ahead of the game for a while, giving you a huge boost. Some of the red zone stages, obviously not. You wouldn't get that, so that is completely irrelevant. There is actually a what is it? Like Pride of the Wicked Bloodline and Fighting Spirit of the Saiyans. There is a couple of these where this would be useful as well. I don't know how strong he would be, but we could possibly give him a crack. Overall, it's not a bad unit. So let's have a look. I said the only downside would be maybe you just got to use an extreme class. Maybe that's not really a downside because you would use this on like Target Goku and androids anyway, and artificial life forms. You wouldn't use it on joint forces, but it's a bit weird. Anyway, okay, so let's see. He has an active skill, which is a nice fusion. Can be activated when 70% or less health from the 5th turn. So you just got to fall under 70%. That's actually pretty decent. It's not difficult to do that. So that's fair. That's generous, right? So with that case, you would then turn into Super 17 himself. Let's see how beastly this guy actually gets. So he has the 3-key 170% flat out, right? So all that passive before, he just gets it flat out. He gets an additional 170% attack when performing a super attack, of which greatly raises and lowers defense. Okay, that's a 30% debuff for several turns. Basically, that means that the attacks can hit just a little bit harder. Normals can hit just a little bit harder, even if they're not crits. That's fine. It allows everybody else to actually hit them a little bit harder. It's one of the worst things going because crits completely ignore defense anyway. But this is fantastic. That's great because you imagine. I mean, it's going to be huge. But we'll touch into it. So you reduce damage by 34%, and for the first 4 turns, an additional damage reduction of 17. So 51%. So you have 51% damage reduction. You're greatly raising your stats and you're flat out 170%. Okay, this actually is turning out to be quite decent. So you still launch the additional normal, but this time it has a 50% chance to become a super attack, but it's after you received an attack that they want you to be in slot 1. Interesting. An additional defense 17% with each attack received up to, okay, wow, dude, okay, that's where the other half of this came from. Flipping heck. 30% chance to crit when there is a superclass enemy, okay. Absorb Ki Blast supers and recover 34%. Oh, wow. If the HP is 70% or less. Nice. And for C enemy super attack when HP is 34% or less. Dude, what the hell is going on with this unit? That's really broken. So, I mean, they're pretty decent before, but yeah, no, okay. So you want to transform immediately. You have this, which is really nice. So, okay, so what are we going to have? We have at max, you'll have 100, so you'll have 170%. You'll have an additional 170%, and then you'll have 50% on top of that, fully built up. On top, you'll have 51% damage reduction, and you nullify Ki Blast supers. Well, what the actual hell? What the actual hell? You're designed around superclass. Vegeta and Goku, they all fire Kamehamehas and whatnot, right? So that'll be huge. Actually, not only that, but the other banner unit, the 19 and 20, they also heal from Ki Blast supers. Dude, honestly, Target Goku and androids are going to be insane. This is nice, but it requires you to be a turn 1, which is plausible because you got this. Imagine having this fully built up, because you're going to want that. and then you got your damage reduction. The fact that he has damage reduction and the additional for the first 4 turns, basically they want you to stick him in slot 1, but you need resources, you need the ability to survive, you need guard, damage reduction, ridiculous defense, all that, right? So they've done it, right? He has high start of turn stats. So what else do you need? It's not enough. Where you reduce damage by 34%. That's not enough. And but for the first 4 turns, 51% damage reduction. Okay, we're talking. How about, but that's still not enough. Damage reduction alone is nice, but bosses can kill you with normals. Okay, how about you build up 20%, 17% with each attack received? Okay, now we're talking. Because this, after you've been hit a couple of times, you're up to like 51%. 3 hits is 51%. With 51% damage reduction on this is ridiculous. So yeah, and then what is it? Then you have this coming in, so that's fine. You don't build up with any additional attacks this time round, so that's fine. So he fully built up. Super 17 is going to look stupidly powerful. Yeah, again, yeah. In theory, he is perfect, right? In theory, this is quite nice. On paper, looks great. Um, Fully built up. There's no doubt though, with 34% damage reduction and what a 170 on top of another 170. So that's, if anything, more than 340 with 50% on top of that. You know, it's not strictly 390. If anything, it's actually more, because it's not like it's 170, then it's 170 on that. Well, that's pretty ridiculous. Where this guy comes into play, and his links don't change, by the way, is he has like GT, and so he's going to come well with GT bosses, and GT bosses works well with artificial life forms, and so does androids. So we have Fuse Fighter, Android Assault, Shocking Speed, GT, Fierce Battle, Fear and Faith, and Nightmare. The good thing is he's not going to struggle for super attacks, mainly because he's got 3 key in his passive, right? You're going to want to use him against with extreme class allies, so you are going to have 3 key, which makes it really valuable, because even though the fact that he's got like 2, 2, 2, and 2, anything else, yeah, and another one, so it's 2, 4, 6. There's 10 key on the board right here. What is going on? He's got 10 key. The fact that he's getting himself 3, he's auto supering. All right. Basically, it just means that having one of these takes the strain off if you ever get a crappy keyboard, because that will happen at times. So Fuse Fighter, you can get it with other Super 17. Actually, yeah, no, you will legitimately be able to get that with other Super 17s, like the AGL one. Android Assault, yeah, okay, fine. Shocking Speed, GT are all going to be pretty common. But yeah, so that's all pretty decent. Of course, Super 17s, this is a standalone, this is transformed, so it will legitimately count. And we have all 7 links. So we're going to be getting, well, 10 key for a starters, which is ridiculous. Well, you get 5% attack. Let's see, you get 15% attack, you get 30% attack, and you get 50% attack, along with what, 5, 25, 30, 40. You get 40% defense, mainly coming from like GT, Shocking Speed, and Android Assault. Who has it on this? What the hell? Who has Android Assault? The Gammas. The Gammas have Android Assault. These, who are also more healing units from Ki Blast Soup. These. Okay, seriously, Android Assault at level 10, giving you that extra key and, more importantly, that defense. Hell, even at level 5, you're getting 15%, which is pretty jazzy. 21's pretty decent. Super 17 can be useful. LR 17, these two, they got to be run together, but these two are actually going to be pretty dynamic. This is actually a huge buff. This is actually pretty great. Who else do we have? Let's see. LR17, yeah, outside of Legendary Power or something, very nice. Most importantly, Android Assault, GT, that's really going to come into hand. Let's see. But these are ridiculous. You've got GT and shocking speed and Android Assault, so huge stat boost, but not just stat boosts. You're getting key, making them incredible. You know, in my top 10 links, this I think was in there, but the rest weren't. Now, it looks like Android Assault is going to be, oh, it's the number one in the game. It's giving 20% defense and 2 key. It's not far off Big Bad Bosses because it also gives key. But Big Bad Bosses is more common than this. So, I mean, legitimately great. These, who you're rocking with, let's have a look. We have Android Assault, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. Switching to GT based, we have Shocking Speed GT, which alone will give you that's 15% defense and that's 10% attack, 4 key. Yeah, okay. So there's some pretty decent stuff. It's a nice mix of androids, and some pretty good mix of GT. So we check out the likes of like GT bosses in particular, because this now has become better. So it'd be nice if the joint forces was more GT bosses. But yeah, okay, so huge buff in terms of raw stats for any android on here. The Super 17s, the Shadow Dragons are just getting raw buffs. Well, I mean, they all work exceedingly well with each other, but the android versions in particular. So this is nice. Still needs a lot of work. The introduction of this unit, when they are fully built up and transformed, yes, looks very impressive, right? You'll be able to use them alongside the others, which makes it quite huge. So that's actually not too bad itself. Probably the best person to run with, or the best teams, would be Android. So this unit will have very easy at some point. You'll be able to use very similar links alongside Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. This guy can be decent. She's pretty good. They're pretty decent and work well alongside. Honestly, androids are looking pretty great. Top tier LRs, pretty respectable LRs. Yeah, same again. The new cell, again, respectable. There's a lot of decent units on here. These two are phenomenal when they're put together. She can be great. Great in, well, it's got to be Cell Saga, but, you know, legitimately great. Again, 21 is pretty decent. Androids can be, obviously, you can get the best out of this. In terms of GT support, actually, are they artificial life forms? Because I believe on GT bosses, if I'm right, is it Rildo, Metal Rildo, that actually gives support to artificial life forms? They actually are on Indeed. I'd have to double check that. Let me just double check that just a little bit, because I'm curious to know. It's oh no, GT bosses. Actually, you actually are getting just a smidge of support from this guy. So okay, so that's not too bad. Dude, what the hell? Yeah. All right, before this video goes on too much longer, we need to jump straight into Mew and Gero. So this will be much easier to do. So target Goku is a 3 key 130%, so about the standard, about the same, right? So you have 150% at the start, but no key, so that could hurt them. You get an additional 100% when performing a super attack, of which greatly raise the defense. So at least they can actually hold their own. That's nice. Target Goku category allies, 1 key 30% to stats, is not shabby at all. An additional 1 key and 20% to stats for target Goku category allies for 2 turns with 3 or more key spheres obtained. So they're actually 2 key 50% support with 3 key spheres, which is 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100 going to be doable. When there is an enemy whose name includes Goku, you steal all enemy super attacks with HP 70% or more, and an additional 150% and guards all attacks. So they're great against target Goku, Jesus. So enter the turn with Goku. You seal all enemies. If you'll be start turns, you probably would have 70% or more HP, especially at the very beginning of the fight. You're going to have that, right? So turn 1, you could go up against a Goku. If you're in like Super Battle Road monotype, where the monotype has multiple stages, 4 stages, or up against any category, and there is a Goku in there up against him and his family or something, then as long as you keep the Goku alive, you'll seal all enemies. You'll have an extra 150% defense for everyone else, and your guard. In terms of stats, coming in at 55%, oof, okay, yeah, no. Even at Rainbow, pretty grim. It's a banner unit, but actually that's one of the worst we've seen. We'll check out 17 stats in a minute. Coming in at 69%, so if he pulled 2 dupes, that's much more like it. There's a huge difference. Jesus, there is a massive difference for 1 dupe. Not as much for the second dupe, but still noticeable. But yeah, coming in with 1 dupe makes these hell of a lot more. Coming in with 1 dupe will allow you to have the hidden potential system to do this. Yeah, there are equips, I suppose, as well. That's something. Pretty solid. Who did they work well with? Similar sort of idea. Thirst for Conquest. Seriously, Thirst for Conquest. I doubt you'll get Scientist rocking up too much. Who has Scientist? You are not going to rock Scientist. There is no way in hell you are going to rock Bulmer alongside any one of these. Okay, so GT Thirst for Conquest, Prodigies, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle. Again, Prodigies. I don't foresee Prodigies being used on this. And I'm absolutely right. Yes, do you know who you're going to run this unit with? You're going to run it with Blue Vegeta, Broly, Dragon Ball Heroes. Let's have a look. So they're on join forces, target Goku, terrifying conquerors, battle of wits. Okay, target Goku is definitely the way to go because that's the main thing. That's fine. They're pretty broken in terms of support. 2 key 50% for 2 turns with 3 or more key spheres obtained. That's actually really nice for 2 turns. Against Goku as well, you know, you guard, you pretty much double your stats. It's ridiculous. The only problem is not getting any key. The given key for allies, what do they have? I mean, that's 2 key. You're not going to get that, so ignore that. That you could legitimately get. Okay, so you could get 4 key, yeah, because they're designed to run alongside them, and they can buff and support. Okay, legitimately, you could probably run based on the team, Fear and Faith. So you can legitimately get 4 key alongside the usual 6. Okay, so actually not going to be too bad in terms of super attacks, right? And they're going to be giving it. Metal Rildo, ironically, because of Thirst for Conquest. Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, Super 17s, the androids, pretty much the same sort of deal. Pretty decent, fantastic support. This procs, yeah, the unit's looking pretty jazzy. But yeah, okay, let's have a look at this. What are we looking at? At 55%, 10,000. When he transforms into this, looking pretty great. I'd imagine this, you do stack attack, which would really, really help. So when you transform, you could be broken in terms of attack power. So 9,500 off the bat, coming in at 110. Okay, basically 11,000. Again, 1 dupe is huge. What if you had got lucky? Okay, yeah, decent. 2 or 3 is going to be the way to go. There is a huge amount of difference between 1 and non-dupes. That is insane. Yeah. All right. Well, we check out the androids. You can see that they definitely fit here well. If you don't target Goku, and there's quite a lot of overlap, right? You will find some of the androids, like the new Cell is in here. You will find these 2 again are in here. You'll find these are in here, like as well. Pretty decent support. They give was it 50% defense or something like that? It's something pretty ridiculous. Yeah, fine for androids. Will work alongside him. Will work alongside him. Yeah, so androids and target Goku, there is a decent amount of overlap. You can actually legitimately do that. The only problem is you just don't summon, because this banner is the last banner 4 or 5 weeks away from the 8th anniversary, for which we've got the information that we're going to have the ticket summon missions already. So we're already beginning to be drip fed some of the content, which makes this irrelevant. If anything, I prefer it to be completely dead. Because what's the point? It's draining your money. It's draining your stone. It's worthless in terms of value. If this came at some point after the 8th anniversary or significantly before, say like February or something, might make sense. You might just have enough time. If you'd have been saving from New Year to now, you'd have had over 1,500 stones. All the videos that I have released of gameplays, you'll have noticed my stone count is in the four figures by now. And I'm totally, well, I'm not totally free to play, but I don't really buy much. So, I mean, you can have close to 1,500 stones just in the first 6 months thus far. So, again, you just don't get these. And again, you have some coins. They're red coins. They're going to be available for 400. At some point, you'll be able to pick them up. They're going to be released in every other banner coming up. So it's a bit of a weird time. I prefer it to be dead, but hey. Right, this video has gone on long enough. Altogether, these units are actually kind of decent. I find that these are actually pretty great. There is a few other easy A's coming in. We've got like physical MVP 17, and then you've got a Prime Battle LR, right? The first one cell. So that's something. But yeah, these two, they're solid. These, especially fully built up, transformed. I mean, going to be insane. Looking forward to testing that out as a guest. I'm not too sure about these guys, but legitimately could work. They're a fantastic support. So at the very least, very focused against Goku, but they're very good. But yeah. All right, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. And if you didn't, well, it sucks to be you, doesn't it? But thank you, and I'll see you next time.